Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26. Well, hold on. We should do that so that you'll see that. And then it's like, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of the Club Lorcana podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jeremy Bertarioni. With me, as always, Zan Syed.
Hello, hello.
Zan, big congratulations on getting married this past weekend.
Thank you, buddy.
A lot of the times on the weekend, you'll play in a tournament. This time, you registered, you paid an entry fee, and you got married.
Yeah. Exciting.
Exciting. Congratulations to the wonderful Mrs. Mahalia Ashraf Syed.
Yep.
Great. Just that's out of the way. I like to start this podcast with a little bit of a up top metagame analysis. So here's context. We are about to fly to California for the LCQs for our friends, and then for the Continentals tournament for you. I don't have a ticket to the LCQ, so I don't know why I'm going, really. I'm just going to try my best.
We're praying that you get one.
Oh, good. Great.
Yeah,
Praying to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, please let me play in the LCQ.
Yeah, you've been on the reserve list forever. Not reserve list, the wait list.
The reserve list, of course, the name of Magic the Gathering cards that they won't print.
Yeah.
I have a couple people that were early on their reserve list too that say that if I can get in, I can go because I already have a ticket and they didn't buy their ticket. So,
oh my god.
Here's hoping. Like I always say, I just want to play in the tournaments, but it is what it is. I've already made peace with that. I might not play. I think you get a +1, so I can at least go in the convention hall. Mm-hmm. And then does your +1 get to play in side events?
So I'm not sure if this event is going to be run exactly like Paris.
Okay.
I will say the first thing I'm going to say is if you have an opportunity to go, you should go. If you care about Lorcana at all, it's like the craziest event. At least the Paris one was. I was like, what? This is like, if you thought the Disney Lorcana challenge was on a certain level, this is like blast off. And I don't even know what the world is going to look like if these two events look like this. So that's the first thing. In terms of how the side events worked. Okay, so the way the side events worked, if you played in the LCQ, what you would do is you come back, get in a line, and based off of your record, you would get tickets. And then you would take those tickets into the convention center and into the hall. And you could just sit down at a table with anybody.
Ooh.
It was just like, so I could sit down and just play against Ryan if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And we can either pack rush or we could play against each other. And if you chose to play against each other, basically there were three packs.
Yeah.
And you're playing for one extra pack, basically.
Right, but I'm trying to get what if I'm trying to get the Baymaxes and the Cuscos? How do I get those?
Each time you give them a ticket to play against the other person, you automatically got a Baymax and a Cusco.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's great. So hold on. Just so I'm clear. Me and you decide we want to play.
Yeah.
We have tickets.
Yeah. I have a ticket. You have a ticket. We both handed over to the judge.
The judge
then gave me a Baymax and a Cusco. You got a Baymax and a Cusco of your own.
Okay.
And then we got what do you call it? A pack each. Yeah. And then we played for the third pack.
Sure. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love unstructured things. One of my favorite things about the DLCs is in the judge's announcement where he was like, by the way, if you find your opponent and it's before the round started, you guys can just go.
Yeah.
I love that announcement because, why do we always have to wait as a trading card game player for the round to start? Who cares if I have a little more time because I got there earlier? It's fine.
Yeah.
I talked to a judge that really didn't like it, so I've heard the other side.
Yeah. I think that there were only 2 packs, and you played for both of the packs.
Yeah, it sounds like since it's free for all, you don't want to talk to the judge again. They want people to just be free doing their own thing. So it sounds like you probably just either you play for the 2 packs or you guys can just decide whatever.
Just split the packs.
Yeah.
And so Ryan and I were at first, the first 2, we played against each other. And then Ryan was like, why are we playing against each other? We can just go win more packs. And the packs were kind of cool because they're random.
Whoa.
So you can get a chapter 1, you can get German packs, you can get French packs, you can get any set.
Speaking of Ryan, big congrats to Ryan. He played in the Star City Games Spotlight Series Lorcana 2K on Saturday.
Yeah, I heard he was Emerald Steel discarding it up.
He got second place with Emerald Steel discard.
Yep.
He was super disappointed because he appeared on this podcast and he wanted to basically show the public momentum. So he thought getting that picture in front of the Star City Games would have been big game or whatever. So he really wanted first.
Yeah.
He
was right there.
He was right there.
I mean, finals is nothing to be ashamed of.
All he played all day, by the way, was purple red and blue red.
Ah,
those were his only matchups.
Wow.
Speaking of, I wanted to talk a little bit about the metagame because it's the beginning of our podcast.
Yeah.
Basically, what would you say going into Continentals you're expecting to see the most? What are the top 3 decks?
Well, the number 1 deck is red purple, and it's ballooned up, right? Like if you think about this like a pie chart.
Yeah.
Right. And we want to just put the 3 decks in there. It's going to be the biggest portion is going to be red purple. And if I had to put a number on it, I would give it 30%. Which is massive. Massive
red purple, 30% red purple.
Red purple is the best deck, and it's the best deck to beat. At this point, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, even though Ryan beat it a couple of times and drew with it a couple of times, in the end, like the 5th copy just got him.
Yeah, I always feel like red purple versus green steel's kind of usually green steel wins, but red purple, in my mind, should be favored because once they get ink and they're just drawing off the top, some red purple cards are worth 3 or 4 of the green steel card. So you have to have 12 cards in your hand to keep up with their top decking sometimes.
Over the long run, red purple wins against every deck. And I'll tell you why, right? The reason why is if you think about the core of red purple, every single card is constantly getting upgrades. The color combination has so many good cards that you can't even play some cards that would be 4-ofs in every other color, right? Let's talk about Queen's Castle for a second.
Great.
Right now, seeing zero copies in any deck.
And you read the stats, and it's this is a 4 ink, 7 HP location that draws you cards, gains 2 every turn. I feel like we have a lot of gain 1ers, right? We have 7 Dwarf's Mine and Steel. That's a gain 1er. And you can feel it. You can feel like sometimes in my games, I've been playing a lot of Purple Steel. I'll have a 7 Dwarf's Mine in play what feels like forever. I'll be like, how much lore do I have? I have 6.
Yeah.
What's going on? How do I only have 6? I feel like I should have 12.
And so now if you think about it, if Queen's Castle was blue, you don't think every blue-red deck would be playing Queen's Castle?
I don't know. Yes, I think that it would. So that just...
McDuck Manor has seen play in that, and Queen's Castle is way better than McDuck Manor.
Mm-hmm.
Every character that's there that can move there for 1 draws you a card. My Tipo doesn't do anything, but now draws me a card every turn.
Ooh, Tipo on a Queen's Castle would be good.
Yeah, you get to do that so early.
Shockingly, I tested a little bit of Blurple this week, and it was kind of bad.
I mean, no surprise there.
I tried to make it work. The build, folks, for those of you wondering, what the tech was, it's almost mono purple. You're just playing Tipo, Sail the Azurite Sea, and then I was playing, this is kind of interesting, the 5-mana Baymax, because
Ooh,
a lot of people are playing Bell, but because if you crash a genie into a genie, then you can Bell to kill. But if you Baymax, then it comes off and you gain 1,000,000 lore. There were so many times where I was at 6 and I would do my combat and quest with Baymax, and at the end of the turn I'd be at 11, and I was like, "Ooh, that was sick."
Okay, can you remind me what the text of Baymax is?
Yeah, it's a 5 ink 2/6 inkable card.
Yep.
Whenever it enters a battlefield or quests, you can heal up to 2 damage. Mm-hmm. For every damage you heal, you gain a lore.
For every damage you heal, you gain a lore. Does it have that as a static effect?
No. For every damage you heal with that ability, you gain a lore. So the popsicles don't gain lore.
So it could gain you 4.
It could gain you 4 on a quest. And 2 on an enter.
And gain you 2 on an enter. Oh, on a quest it could gain you 4 because it would heal 2 people.
No, it would heal 2 damage, but it quests for 2. So you gain 2 from it questing, and then you get 2 if you heal 2 damage.
Okay, so it's not. It's like it can be considered close to a goat.
It's close to a goat. It's basically, I took out the Bell's Accomplish Mystic for it because it's like a bell that gains you 1,000,000 lore.
Yeah.
And you needed a way to close games in Blurple, especially because you don't have a Wrath. So, like, ideally, you want the game to be wrapped up by, like, shared turn 7 or 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the rest of the deck kind of wants you to be playing this super long game. But I was learning that, like, if I, like, play Rabbit, bounce Rabbit 1,000,000 times, do all this stuff, have all this, like, board or whatever, and they have a huge board, then I just lose. So you needed ways to, like, really close it. So I don't think I've ever played a card in the game that's got me more lore as fast as the new Baymax. But it's only good in like an aggressive deck, and since it's blue, you're not seeing it because blue decks are not typically very aggressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love that. I mean, one card I would probably be playing in that shell is probably Alice.
Yeah, I was thinking about Alice a lot.
That card is a very, very, very powerful, really quick clock, and we know how good Ward is.
Ward's great. You can protect your Baymax. Play a Baymax at quest with the Alice. Protect Baymax. Now Baymax gets to quest again. If you had 2 damage on a guy before, and all this works so great with Genie. Because the Genie picks up 2. For some reason, Genies pick up 2 damage.
All the time.
All the time. Right? You hit their Diablo. Now your Genie has 2 damage.
Can you imagine giving your Genie some Ward?
Genie Ward's pretty good.
Yeah, so... Okay, so what we got going on a bit here is we got the Clone Wars going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Clone Wars. The purple decks are the clones, right? They're everywhere. So you can think of every purple deck as basically the same deck with a splash, right? So the more cards that are in from your other color, the better your deck generally is because that other color is contributing to the strategy a lot. So oftentimes what I've noticed in Blurple strategy is they only have like 12 cards coming in from the other color, right? And so that lets you know that this is basically a mono purple deck.
It's close to mono purple, yeah.
And that means that the other color isn't actually worth playing because it's not contributing a whole lot.
That was my problem with Blurple at the end, was like, I don't think it's better than, for example, Purple Steel, which is right now my odds on pick to play in Anaheim, assuming I play anything.
Yeah.
Which I might not.
I hope you do.
Oh, great.
We're putting the energy out into
I'm going to get to play in Anaheim. I'm going to be there. I'm renting a car for the first time in my life.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm renting it through Thrifty, and they have a thing where you can pay extra cheap, but you don't get to pick anything about your car.
That's that's actually your dream come true.
It's like wild card.
I can't wait to see your car.
I just want to be like, give me the crappiest thing in this fleet.
I feel like you're gonna get a Mustang.
I guess I would normally say I would hate that because a Mustang day to day isn't very good. But I guess if I'm just driving around Anaheim for no reason with nothing but a backpack and myself, then all right, give me the Stang.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a convertible Stang.
That convertible's wild right now in LA. All right, so I have Purple Steel really high. I've been playing a lot of Purple Steel. I've been playing the list on Ink decks that like top aided the 3-star tournament called like Lucky's Good One. But let me just basically, I guess, describe it. It's got like 14 1-drops or whatever. Mm-hmm. You're not playing Maleficent. You are playing Happy. Mm-hmm. It's got 7 Dwarf's Mine. It's got Library, A Gift for Bell. Mm-hmm. You have Calhoun's, Goats and Mims, and Genies. No rabbits.
Yep.
And then your removal suite's interesting. It's Fire the Cannons, the 1 mana do 2 damage. And then you're playing 3 smashes, and those have been good.
Okay.
Because they get rid of Ursula's. Super important. And then you are playing Pluto also. And that's pretty much the deck. 4 Elsas.
I feel differently about the deck.
1 Bell. Yeah.
I feel like the name of the game is, these are all Clone Wars, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So clones need to, the most important thing is the clone needs to be able to interact with the other clones in a favorable way. So the splash color needs to be helping you answer the most important card in the purple shell, which is Genie. And so red purple has Brawl and has Medusa, right? Those are 2 prime reasons why you should think about playing red purple when you're playing, and the stats also prove it. This has nothing to do with skill. It just has, it's like what's happening in nature. You know what I mean? The lions are eating the gazelles, and that's just a part of the nature, right? And so here we see red purple naturally claiming dominance as the strongest red purple because it naturally beats them. So if I think that Amethyst is to compete against all of them, it needs to have its answer to an opposing Genie.
Well, that's why you play, the Elsas and the Bell Accomplished Mystic. Bell Accomplished Mystic helps.
But everybody else is also playing those.
Sure.
So the splash color, I 100% believe needs to be answering that. And so one card that I was playing in my version was For Along Came Zeus.
And then along came Zeus.
And along came Zeus.
He still didn't say it right.
I'm never gonna say it right. I'm a bad guy.
Married guy, bad guy. Oh, where's your ring? Show me your ring.
Oh, it's upstairs.
Yeah, already leaving that thing behind. I think I cooked 2 or 3 days ago, took it off. Who knows where it is now?
No, I'm gonna get a bunch of those Amazon plastic rings, so I keep my real ring in a safe spot, and then plastic ring for the day-to-day.
This program brought to you by Safety Deposit Box. Keep your Lorcana cards in a safety deposit box.
Amazing.
I mean, nobody's ever had a problem with those.
Yeah. So back to Along Came Zeus, I think is really important in order to distinguish yourself from the clones. And so green purple, the way that it tackles that problem and the reason why it's still been doing well is it tempos out the opponent and also uses Go-Go to win in the lore race, kind of like
Baymax. Oh yeah, Baymax, the super lore gainer. That's right. Yeah, Kit Cloud Kicker might not feel good on a Genie, but trust me, if you do it 2 or 3 times, you will win the game. That's what I learned last night in testing. Actually, I was like, Kit Cloud Kicker, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't feel the best, but if you have a Genie, it's like the best thing you can do. Kit Cloud Kicker. Fox it back to hand, play it again, and again. So that feels really good. Then moving on, we got to go back to that pie, right? So we said red purple 30%, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say the second most is going to be all of these purple decks lumped together, except for without red purple steel, green purple, and that's
kind of it.
And Blurple.
Blurple is probably the worst of all of those. I will say, when you're building Blurple, get it as aggressive as you can. Trust.
But I'm gonna put all of them together because majority of the builds are basically exactly the same build.
Yeah, you're playing 40 of the same cards every time.
So what you'll notice is the cards that you're adding, like Fire the Cannons and Smashes, aren't actually helping you in the mirror, but they are helping you beat other decks, like the steel decks, and like Amber Steel, right? Or Green Steel.
I've been beating Amber Steel with Purple Steel a lot. This is the first time that's ever happened to me.
Amber with Purple Steel. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because your cards are aligning really well against that. And so the second category I'm giving to a clump, I know it sounds weird, but actually preparing against those decks is very, very similar, right? Like, when you're playing against green purple, what you're trying to do is play around Kit, and you're trying to play around Ursula too, right? Looking at someone's hand, taking a song.
Deceiver.
Exactly. So those are the things that you're playing around. When you're playing around the steel version, you're playing around Fire the Cannons, and you're playing around Doc, which I don't really know how you do that.
No, you don't play around Doc. You're just aware of Doc.
Yeah, just be aware of Doc. Like, the way you play around Doc is like a Doc comes in and you're like evaluating whether you need to remove it. And oftentimes the answer is you need to remove it because you don't want them to bounce it and draw more cards.
I love bouncing a Doc.
That's a ton of fun. Then the third slot, I'm still gonna give it to Blue Red. I think Blue Red is an extremely powerful deck that's good against the whole format except for red purple and green purple.
And I don't love them against purple steel either. A lot of these purple aggressive decks are giving basically blue red a run for their money, and blue red seems to just be dominating everything else. Nothing else is even coming close.
Yeah, that I mean, it's true. I think blue red is one of the most refined decks, but if you think about set 1, the dominance that red purple has had in card quality, has never diminished. It has only increased with every single set, and some of the old decks are not as efficient anymore. Hence why I don't believe that Amber Steel Songs is actually a great choice. Could it win this tournament? Yeah, of course. If you get the matchup lottery and you have the whole new world every single time, yeah, you can definitely win. But the odds are not in your favor.
Let me ask you a question. Steel Song or Diggy Diggy Hole?
I would rather play Diggy Diggy Hole.
Nice. Me too.
Just because it like doesn't let you down as much, you know?
I was playing last night, and I was playing on an online client, and I accidentally selected Steel Song because they're both just like yellow steel or whatever. I didn't name them.
What? That's not your style.
I know, but I've been testing a lot this week because
you changed it to my stance, which is like delete every other deck.
Right. Yeah, I've been testing a lot this week, so I don't. I'm just trying to go fast. And it's so funny because if somebody's like, Jeremy, what are you testing for? It's like, well, listen, I might be able to play in an LCQ.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to put a bet on somebody who gets into the LCQ and makes it into the main event and then wins the main event, makes it to the Worlds, I mean, you're my number one pick.
I have to be upfront and say I'm very good at LCQs. LCQs, I think I have like just like an 80% win rate on if it's called an LCQ, I get there.
Yeah.
And it's best out of 3. So I was testing last night on an online client, and my girlfriend was like, Jeremy, you know what your problem is? You always win games 2 and 3. And I was like, I hated that. I was like, shut up. No,
you got to win games 1 and 2.
Right.
That's what makes you really powerful.
That according to Lorcana this year, this past year, they decided that that's what makes you really powerful.
It does. It makes you.
Aside from that, coming up this month, we have the planetary qualifiers for Star Wars in Level Up Games in Duluth. This is the first of their event series.
When is it happening?
25th of January.
Okay, we got plenty of time.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah, we'll become Star Wars boys.
I think I'm ready to do it. So their organized play system's neat. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So they have planetary qualifiers, which are basically store championships. The winner of those qualifies for the Galactic Championship.
Okay.
Then they have sector qualifiers, which are basically regionals. There's going to be like 1 or 2 in Atlanta and then like some everywhere else.
That's
Top 8 of those qualifies for the Galactic Championship.
It's already mine.
And then they're going to have like Grand Prix events that I think are called like Galactic qualifiers or whatever. Don't really know yet. Or maybe it's like literally planetary regional sector. But anyway, then there's the Grand Prix style events where like the top like 32 or whatever get to go to the Galactic Championship. The Galactic Championship's already been announced. It's going to be in Vegas on the 25th of July.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be big. I want to play in it.
Yeah. I mean, the game is a very skill intensive game.
It's a hard game. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I had a really great time playing with you. I mean, I top 4. I got 3rd in my first event, and they didn't let us play out top 4, which I was very upset by. I literally lost on a ruling that was wrong.
Right.
Which was crazy. So I lost only 1 game before. I really just want to. Yeah, I feel like if I play it a tournament and I actually prepare for it, that I could show my like full potential.
So let's talk about what I think they're doing right. You got a lot of chances to qualify at a lot of different levels. Your local game store hero can qualify to store championships and doesn't have to do anything else. You can go in these big regional events and play in one of those and qualify, or you have like sort of the Grand Prix option. I think that it's like easier isn't the right word because that doesn't necessarily make it better. It's just so much more clear when the like your path to getting to the Galactic Championship.
Well, I'm going to say a couple of different things. I'm going to say that I'm glad that they're making adjustments to make the game better. I don't know what they've done to compensate for the pricing. Mm-hmm. Because what I had heard, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that we win cards.
For the planetary qualifiers, it's just cards.
Yep.
We don't know what you win in the big one yet.
Exactly. And I think that's to be determined for a reason. Mm-hmm. So let's say I find out I get to go to I need to go to Vegas. Mm-hmm. And they haven't even told us what the prizes are. Right now what we have something in Lorcana that majority of the new games do not have is, people want the cards. You know that you have a path to sell those cards.
Yeah.
And get your money, But if I walk into 10 stores in Georgia or 10 stores anywhere in the country, I'm not sure which one of those would even take Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars sells for a lot, and the cards are pretty expensive, but it feels a little like now you've spent that money, you're not getting it back, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like how Star Wars feels to me. Not a lot it doesn't feel like there's a lot of resale value. I could be like so wrong about that, because it is true that while we were at that premiere Star Wars event in Star City, I think it was like early last year or whatever, people were like hounding everybody else for cards, right? Somebody came up and bought my deck off of me, which has never happened before.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, but I also bought someone else's deck and they were just happy to sell. They were like, I'll give you my entire collection for 80% off.
So it's a very unstable economy, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that we already know the date of the big one, right? A lot of times in Lorcana, it's like, and Worlds. And you're like, okay, when is that? You qualify for Worlds. When is it? We don't know.
We don't know.
Nice if we knew. And they have the venue booked. So I just think Star Wars is doing that part right. And it's not really their fault if like they have to figure out the prizes in advance because they don't have Mickey Mouse backing them.
I mean, they do have Mickey Mouse backing them.
Yeah, but they can't do Jedi Mickey Mouse.
That's true, because I mean, we know that one of the pillars of having a successful card game is IP.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not all about the gameplay. That's the honest truth. But I love Lorcana so much, I would play it if it was blank cardboard with just the rules. That's how much I think the game is good.
That's why you're the number one player, Zan.
Yeah, before any of this, I told you this from day one, before I had any success in this game at all. And we were driving to different states to play 1Ks.
I remember. That was fun.
Yeah.
I love a road trip.
Yeah.
1K.
Those were great. And we did win them and we did well. So we've been dedicated since set one.
You always end up in the shadiest game stores.
Exactly.
Like you're in an old dentist's office and they're like, walk to the back. That's where all the players are. And you have to go down like a dark hall. It's like, we don't have lights. And you're like, yeah, this is so scary.
And also Kendall was with us, right? Like Kendall was doing it too. And so basically, there's too many games that come and go, and I'm telling you right now, Lorcana is doing it right. I don't care that they take a long time, because when I show up to the event, it's so mind-blastingly amazing.
Yeah.
That I'm like, yeah, don't tell me anything. Like, I love this surprise. It's so insane. And so, okay, if Star Wars wants to be successful, yes, it has a harder path, but it needs to do stuff that Lorcana is not doing, which is, it should have an online client.
It does. It has Carabast.
Oh, is it good?
It's good, yeah.
No. Is that like a real?
No,
it needs a real paid for client. You know why? Because the game is harder.
The game is harder.
It's way harder. So if the design doesn't compensate for newer players coming into the game, basically, I feel like if you want to play Star Wars, you need to have a background in Lorcana, Magic, some advanced card game in order to learn the basic rules, because I'm getting confused. Like, I'm doing really well, but I'm getting confused, and I've been playing card games at a high level for a decade.
Well, like, being efficient is so important, and if you haven't been playing card games for a long time, you don't even know what you're like trying to do. So like, you have to have a good concept of like spending all of your ink ink efficiency or whatever. So you know, like, all right, which of these cards should I play? Well, I should use the most ink. And in this game, the higher drops are a little bit rewarded, because playing a 2 and a 3 costs you time, as opposed to just playing a 5. And then you can play 5 pass, and then you have priority in your next turn. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, and then on top of all that, games take a bit longer.
And a draw is worth 0 points for both players.
Exactly. So sequencing is also tougher. And then time is also an issue. With all that being said, basically a new player has only one choice but to play an aggro deck.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't think that's new player friendly. But if you have an online client, someone can learn on their own time, come into the store, and not feel overwhelmed.
Online client. Did you see that Ravensburger was hiring for a game developer?
that's extremely promising, but I was I was hoping that they were already working on it.
Yeah, it's not actually that promising if they're like, we've thought about hiring people to make one. It's like, okay, I got an idea, first of all, of who you should hire first. Second of all, we got to get this thing out. I mean, like, I'm waiting.
I was like, okay, we're going to go to Worlds and they're going to have a client ready. And they're going to be like, we have it. And we're like, oh my God, this is a dream come true. This is Disney World.
One of the things I don't like about Ravensburger is their like announcements. A lot of the times they'll be like, on Tuesday, we're going to make an announcement that's going to answer a lot of you guys' questions. And then Tuesday will come and they'll be like, yes, there will be a set 7. And you're like, you know what I mean? You're like, so obviously, but answer our questions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care.
No, I mean, who cares?
I just love playing in the events. I don't sometimes it's nice knowing, but it is what it is.
I'm having a good time too. I just like to get tilted about stuff. Yeah, what's up?
Let's go back to the circle.
Let's go back to the circle.
The pie.
I thought we finished that. I wouldn't have gone on a 1 hour long tangent.
Okay, so we talked about the purple decks being like
purple red, purple X, blue red, yellow steel.
Yeah, we're gonna go to amber steel.
Yep. I thought that we just did amber, so we said you would rather play Diggy Hole over the songs.
Yep, but what I'm saying is, I want to get more into the reasoning why.
Fine. All right. I'm sure they'd like that.
So basically, we can go back to the beginning, but basically, we know that green purple became a major target, right? Because it did well. The train really started when it was NA versus EU. The first matchup for me was against Artabax, who was playing green purple, and he beat me in a very devastating fashion, like dramatic ending to game 3, and Gogo was an instrumental part of that. And so when I lost that, I saw like a huge shift where people were like, green purple is real now. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, green purple is a really well positioned deck for Paris. Mm-hmm. And it did well in Paris. It made it to the finals. Now, the natural answer to green purple was the amber steel, not songs deck, because I actually think green purple is favored against regular songs as long as it has an Ursula on turn 2.
Okay.
The main thing that it was missing was like an aggro version that's not dependent on songs, so Ursula can't punish you that hard.
And that's what Brennan DeCandio played.
Exactly. And that's what he played in the NA versus EU, but he lost so much that it didn't give the deck the proper attention that it deserved. When I thought it was the best deck in the NA versus EU thing altogether, I didn't care about his record. I just played his deck and I was like, oh, this deck is for reals. And so when he played in CCS and ended up winning, I wasn't surprised at all, because I felt like that was the natural answer to green purple dominance, because people are drawn to playing anything but red purple at first until it just starts winning everything and people have to play red purple. So that's kind of the category that we're at now. Then after CCS, red purple had a mission, which was, let's figure out if we can beat yellow steel, and if we can beat yellow steel, we win this entire circle, this entire pie. And so Kendall figured it out, went to Star City and dominated. And when he didn't dominate, his clones dominated.
Yeah.
And so at this point, red purple has 4 tournament wins in a row, right? It's like Paris into not CCS, I know Star City, and then a bunch of other small tournaments that were happening. And it won 2 Star City tournaments.
And it did great in the Star. I mean, it was like 4 in the top 8 type beat.
It's like, that's like pure dominance. And so at that point, it just becomes a coin flip which one of these purple players wins. And so basically where we're at right now is, are there any dark horses left? You know, the answer is most likely no. But it is quite possible. Red purple is such a consistent deck that it can beat all of those odds. So even if a deck could beat red purple, it couldn't do it consistently over the entire tournament. So it needs to be someone who's running hot and playing the deck, and that makes it very unlikely that red purple is going to be dethroned. Right? Like, so one of the things I was thinking was, what if I just showed up with amber steel flutes And so we tested it and it felt really good. But then what you realize is the deck has so many uninkables that that it dies to itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if basically you're playing set 3 Amber Steel songs. What? Are we joking right now? Why didn't you give Amber Steel songs any new cards? And if they are new, why did we get all uninkables?
Yeah, you can have a new card, but you can't ink it.
It's like, okay, but red purple can get like commons and uncommons that are like god tier, like the library.
Oh yeah, that's an uncommon right there. What about 3 mana, 8 HP, 3 ink, 8 HP, draw a million cards location? What about one of those, huh? I want one.
Can you give it to another color, please?
It sounds like purple to me. I think if they make a good card, it should be purple.
God damn it.
You can't say that.
So where were we? Yeah. So like we're just running out of the bag of tricks. So there's a portion of this that feels like slots, which is like if you play purple, you just got to draw better than your opponent, and this less skill in terms of the purple v purple wars. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, that's what's going on. And so sometimes when a new set comes out, you know, the format ages beautifully, where people are constantly figuring things out till the very end of the format and maybe didn't even crack it, right? I would say set 5 was really like that. We figured out Emerald Steel and I was still improving upon it, and it won the last 2 tournaments of that set. But we had 2 major tournaments in Paris for set 6, and then in this California Continentals, and basically so much work has been put in that there's kind of like no more juice kind of left, and so it's unfortunate that the format has devolved this way. But yeah, I mean, I feel like for the most part everything is solved, and I'm just hoping that set 7 gives nothing to red purple and everything to every other color. You know, share the wealth.
Set 7, Sail the Azurite Sea. No, that's what we just had.
Yeah.
What's set 7? It's got Bolt on it.
It's yeah, it does have Bolt on it. It learn new tricks.
Learn new tricks. The Owls of Gahul.
I don't know what the set is called. I know Jafar is one of the sets.
He's coming up later though.
Yeah, I think that's 8.
Next, we're doing something with an owl.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Learn new tricks. Like, learn anything about red purple, please.
Learn new tricks. I want blue green to have a resurgence. I've decided I'm a blue green Andy.
Yeah, like we've punished green enough. Like, give green some new tools.
Nerf Prince John and Diablo.
No.
No.
Can we get rid of Can we get rid of Genie? That's like
make Hidden Cove cost 3.
Get rid of Genie.
No, we can't get rid of Genie. Genie's cool.
It's too good.
That's Genie. He's magical. He's too good. 2 mana, 4 mana, 2/4. Draw card. Hey.
I know, but it's like the Storm issue in X-Men.
What?
Have you never read an X-Men before where beginning of the combat, the fighting sequence is about to start. Storm gets taken out. Storm just gets blasted.
Well, the X-Men has to do a lot of crazy things. Like Cyclops can never do his thing either, really, because it's just
too powerful.
Way too strong.
And Genie is that, except for they let Genie live.
You got to let Genie live. Speaking of Storm, okay, Marvel Rivals. Season 0 wrapped up. I hit gold. Hey.
Congratulations. I hate that game.
You hate that game?
No, it's not that. It's just like it's a game that has so many people playing it constantly. It just feels like another thing that I can spend infinite time on and improve on.
You get nothing back from it. Like with Lorcana, you get so much back. Marvel Rivals, that's just like basically poo.
I feel like I'm doing Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the first time again. You know what I mean? It's like that same feeling where I love playing with all my friends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's let's say I was Grandmaster. What could I do with it?
Well, some people have started little streaming careers. There's one guy who got totally famous being the rank 1 Wolverine.
Yes, I have seen that guy. And what I'll say about that is it's not like a sustainable thing because you have to continue playing at that level for a really long time. But that's still less. It's still less than like winning one Lorcana tournament.
Well, but good for him though.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is like, I'm like down to climb infinite ladders if there's a payoff.
Yeah.
And card games are built on that payoff.
I'm ready to win the Galactic Championship in Star Wars. That way, it's like we do the podcast and you're like the Lorcana guy, but I get to be like, I'm actually the best Star Wars player.
I mean, right now, I'm a higher ranked Star Wars player than you.
Why?
Because I have better results.
No, because you didn't even go to that win-a-box that I won.
Oh,
in Duluth. It was, by the way, he had all the best Star Wars players I've ever seen.
But you didn't win it.
I got like top 4.
Yeah, and I got third.
I got a box. I also played in the Star City Star Wars tournament however many months ago, and I didn't even top 8.
You top 16.
I did top 16. I got really close. I died to a Sabine Green player who said I was the best card game player he had ever seen.
That's amazing.
I guess I hated it. I was like, you killed me.
But the last tournament we played in, which I did play in, was at DreamHack, right?
Uh-huh.
And I finished third.
All right, I'll see you at the qualifiers. Good luck, buddy. Planetary.
I'm just joking.
Okay, I'm going to be decided about. Fiona's playing too, by the way.
I'm glad. We need more gamers.
We need more gamers. Just good for the game, good for the game.
Yep. I mean, I'm excited about Star Wars, and I wish it the best. They need real cash prizes, though.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go to Vegas for a Obi-Wan.
Well, we don't know them. I think they're going to do cash prizes. That's like my first instinct.
Yeah, I hope they are. They haven't announced it yet.
They have not announced it yet. And the planetary qualifiers are not cash prizes, but they left it up to the stores. So Level Up in Duluth is not doing a cash prize.
Yep. Lorcana is still my number 1, though.
But if you win at Level Up in Duluth, you get like 3 boxes.
And when does that become money?
When you sell the boxes.
Or
you open them and get the exclusive Ahsoka Tano full art card.
Wow.
She's everyone's favorite Jedi.
I don't exactly know why.
She's like plucky.
Okay.
That's great.
It's amazing.
All right. I think we're good. We've covered it. We're gonna see you this weekend. We'll be at Anaheim. If you see me, I might not have anything to do. So come up to me, play some games, talk to me about the ticket black market. I'm trying to get in.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Can't wait to see you guys there. And Zan, anything you want to say to our basically amazing audience?
Jeremy, thank you so much for being my best man. You gave an amazing speech, and you did an amazing job. And if you're not following Jeremy, go follow him. His socials are in the description below. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.